The snow stretched endlessly, a frozen expanse of white that seemed to swallow sound and light alike. Every step crunched underfoot, each echoing hollowly into the icy emptiness. Commander Elias Ward had traveled many dangerous sectors in his career, but nothing had prepared him for the sight that lay ahead, a tiny, shivering form half buried in the snow. At first, he thought it was a trick of the storm. The blizzard was thick, visibility poor. But the figure moved, curling further into itself, a faint purple glow pulsing weakly through its skin. He slowed, crouched, and whispered through his calm, "It's alive. I repeat, it's alive." The alien girl was unlike any species he had encountered. She was small, no taller than a human child, with delicate limbs, 4 fingers on each hand, and eyes that reflected the pale snowstorm like twin moons. Her skin had a soft lavender hue, but it was dim, faded by cold, exhaustion, and fear. She trembled uncontrollably, and when she lifted her gaze, her eyes were wide with panic. Elias approached slowly. He didn't want to scare her, though he was armed and ready. "I'm human," he said gently. "I'm here to help." The girl flinched, retreating further into the snow. "Stay back," she whispered, her voice fragile and melodic, tinged with a language he didn't recognize. Elias crouched lower, tilting his head. He had learned that tone and posture mattered more than words in first contact situations. Slowly, he removed his helmet's visor, revealing his face. "I'm not going to hurt you," he said. "I can give you warmth, shelter, food. Just trust me." The alien girl's glow pulsed faintly, a sign of fear, or maybe caution. Elias knew the species relied on bioluminescence to express emotion, and in this case, the faint flicker suggested she was terrified, but alive. The decision was simple. He had to act quickly. Exposure in this blizzard could kill her in minutes. Elias removed his thermal blanket from his pack and carefully draped it over her shivering shoulders. He spoke softly, telling her about the warmth inside his ship, about the small heater modules, and the hot nutrient packs he could offer. After a tense moment, she allowed him to take her hand. Her skin was icy and her grip weak, but it was enough. He lifted her gently, careful not to jostle her. Every step through the storm was a struggle, his boots sinking deep into snowdrifts. Yet he pressed on, his focus entirely on keeping her alive. By the time they reached his small patrol ship, her entire body was trembling violently, and her glow had nearly faded. He carried her inside, shutting the door against the storm. The heat was immediate, radiating against her frozen skin. She gasped, a tiny whimper of relief and confusion. Elias placed her on a reclining cot, wrapping her further in thermal blankets. "You're safe now," he said. "No one's going to hurt you here." For the first time, the alien girl's eyes softened. She looked at him, then at the blankets, then back at him again. Slowly, a single tear welled up in one of her enormous eyes, trailing down her cheek. She didn't speak, but the glow of her skin pulsed brighter, irregularly, like a heartbeat finally returned. Over the next several hours, Elias tended to her quietly. He offered a nutrient pack, warm liquid to help her stabilize. She accepted reluctantly, sipped slowly, eyes darting to him constantly, as though measuring every move. She had never experienced kindness before. "Why are you helping me?" she finally asked, her voice a soft trill in broken trade language. "Because no one deserves to die alone in the cold," he replied. "And because you need help." She looked away, hiding her face against the blanket. The glow from her skin flickered softly, like she was unsure whether she could trust his words. Elias understood that it would take time. Trust was not given. It was earned. Hours passed. The storm outside raged, but inside the ship, a fragile bond was forming. He learned her name was Lyra, though he pronounced it carefully, unsure if he was correct. She had been wandering the frozen wastes of this uninhabited planet, fleeing unknown pursuers, her species hunted for their unique genetic properties. Lyra's DNA was rare, highly valued across the galaxy for its regenerative potential. She shivered again at the mention of it. They want to use me, she whispered. I can't let them. You won't have to, Elias said firmly. Not while I'm here. The next day, Elias had to plan extraction. Lyra's pursuers were tracking her biosigns. They had advanced sensors and ships capable of interstellar jumps. If they found her, she would be captured, or worse. Lyra watched him carefully, her large eyes reflecting both fear and awe. I have never met someone like you, she admitted softly. Someone who does not want to hurt me. Elias smiled gently. Humans can be unpredictable that way, he said. Some of us, at least. It was the first time Lyra had shown anything resembling a smile. Her glow pulsed gently, a rhythm that Elias learned indicated trust in her species. They left the planet in the small patrol ship, navigating through asteroid belts and sensor grids to avoid detection. Lyra sat quietly beside him, wrapped in thermal blankets, occasionally looking out at the stars. You saved me, she said finally. Why? Because someone should, Elias replied. And because I believe in humans, and maybe in aliens too. Her laugh was soft, melodic, almost musical. I never thought I would see kindness. Not like this. Days later, they reached a friendly colony. Lyra was debriefed by scientists and medics, but she insisted Elias remain with her. The bond forged in the cold, in fear and vulnerability, had become stronger than either of them expected. Elias watched as she interacted with the medics, noting how her glow fluctuated, bright when she was comfortable, dim when stressed. It was a living map of her emotions, and he realized that, for the first time, she felt safe enough to be herself. Over time, Lyra began to help the colonists adapt their environmental systems, using her intelligence for the first time outside of fear and survival. She laughed at small jokes, marveled at human ingenuity, and occasionally touched Elias' arm in gratitude. Simple gestures that conveyed more than words ever could. Elias learned too. He learned the value of patience, of trust, and of small human gestures of care. They did not require grand statements or weapons of war, just presence, warmth, and attention. One evening, as the twin suns of the colony set, casting a soft golden glow across the settlement, Lyra approached him with a small, luminescent crystal she had carried from the frozen planet. For you, she said, her voice steady now, her glow a brilliant lilac. To remember. The warmth you gave me. Elias took it carefully, awed by the gesture. I'll treasure it, he said, smiling. Lyra's eyes glimmered with emotion. I never had anyone before. Not like this. Not someone who cares. You do now, Elias said. You have more than anyone could take from you. And for the first time since she had fled into the snow, Lyra truly believed she was safe, not just alive. The galaxy was vast, full of danger and cruelty, but with humans, and maybe a few like Elias, there was hope. And sometimes, hope was enough to survive even the coldest, loneliest places.